Good morning, good afternoon, good day, good evening. It depends on the country of the world you are this morning. Thank you very much for joining again. Thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate you. Let's go ahead to invite people. Let's go ahead to invite people. Let's go ahead to invite people. Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead to invite people. Let's go ahead to do a lot of things to make it great, to make it powerful. One of the things I've seen over the time is that I'm trusting the Lord. Next year, I'll be able to serve you better, the picture quality, because I discovered the issue of not using light, not using the electricity to really do the production is really, really one key I really want to appreciate, because I really want to work on it so that I will have about 2 lights, their stands, and having more equipment so that it can serve us better, because the cleaner it is, the better it is for anybody who really want to be part of what we are doing. Because I've seen that. I was watching back some of the videos we have done. I was like, wow, this kind of video, if I want to see that, I won't be able to sit down, listen, and watch. I can listen, but I won't be able to watch because it was breaking, it was jerking, the picture was so poor, and that makes us to say, let's keep on trying every other means. So this morning, my name is Paul-Esupofo, the lead instructor of Special Drama Film School Online, and we are still on this book, Dapo, Adelugba, on theater practice in Nigeria. This is a very wonderful book. I will recommend for anybody, whether you're on your 100 level, your 200 level, 300 level, first degree, second degree, third degree. This book is relevant. I tell you, this book is relevant. I'm not sponsored to do this, but because the author gave me the permission to really go through the book and see, and he said, see, in 2016, he said, whatever you need from all this thing, you get the result here. And I said, wow. At first, I was going through it. I was just like, what is this and all that. But later, I have to sit down and say, wow, this is a resourceful thing. And thank God for the Holy Spirit on the line. Holy Spirit. I'm not a religious person, but I'm talking about spiritual thing there. Holy Spirit said, no, you're going to use this book as a whole thing. And I said, wow. And because before I finish one, I have to just think about things, a review of professional academic achievement. You know, you have to look at the questioning of this interview, unfolding, the genuine query into knowledge, into understanding, into the problem of its revelation. That's one of the things that the professor in Bowen University also said about this book. All right, that's what Professor Dan said about the book. Let's go invite people. It's more important for me that we go ahead to invite as many people as possible, so that we can have a whole lot of things. And I want to thank God for the ongoing thing as the Lord is helping us, the ongoing thing as is enabling us, and it's a wonderful thing. Yesterday we talked about dictionary, we talked about things, we talked about the dramatic theory and criticism, we talked about the way, the kind of arrangement it could be. Yesterday we talked about the theater to the time of what we have it till now, and that's a whole lot of things, a whole lot of deal for me. All right, so please, let's invite people. Let's go ahead and invite people. Let's invite people. And to as many who are thinking of being of great help to us, you are free. Please contact me. You're free. Though we don't solicit, we don't want to beg, we don't want to be begging people. Please come and support us, come and give us money. No, we don't want to do that. But as many who have been contemplating, I just discovered that, oh, you are free. All right, the only thing is that as the law leads, so that won't be like, oh, this guy is no. We are not like any other person. I'm trying to use our internet to really do something that is not correct with people. So yesterday we talked about the area of technical theater. The area of technical theater is one key area that it can never be overemphasized. Let's go this morning on Collective. I will be inviting people later. So please make your comments as you're watching. Make your comment. Make sure you comment. Make sure you write something. And Darren really did a good job yesterday. Let's go with a bit of insight, and since we have discussed what view on the tragedy, what could have been. We talked about this yesterday. We talked about it yesterday to the extent of the African comedic spirit, how it works, how it worked, and how people are really getting something. You know, it's a very big thing yesterday, and I must confess, somebody said, "Ah, you're in the festive period. We couldn't see that you're in the festive period. You're just you're just doing a lot of things." Yes, I must confess to you, it's the work of the Father, and I don't see why we should not do it. All right, I don't see why we should not do it. So yesterday we were able to talk about the what are the ethnic, social status differences, social strata differences, and invite as many people as possible. Invite your friend to watch. I want to appreciate those people. All right, so let's invite people, but let me quickly go on. I will just reverse the beat, then I continue from that. All right, that will help us. As theater director, you earn yourself the appellation of the double bossa. Kiriji, Kiriji in quote by Wale Ogunyemi, was once made a central departmental project which you directed, but not without some challenges, going by the rather predictable tasking nature of the text and the seemingly unwieldy use of dialogue, which was capable of stifling mobility in general. How did you cope, and what principle informed the success of its production? Wow. How did it cope? What brought about the turning point? What brought about those turning point? What about those thing? Well, Kiriji is one of my favorite works. I don't know whether it's pronounced very well, but Kiriji is one of my favorite works, and I think the reason I was able to cope was that I was working with a dramatist who had a lot of faith in my own work as a theater director. Even as a young theater director at the time. You are still very young? How do you mean? You are still very young? How do you mean? So that's a question. They're telling me how you're still very young. Oh, this headroom. Okay. So you're still very young. So no, that's the whole thing. And they say, yes, quite young. I'm still young. He laughs. Okay. He laughs. Because of Wale Ogunyemi's implicit trust in my genuineness, he humbly took off part of the script which we mutually agree were unsatisfactory. I mean, I took great liberty with the script, and I told him that, of course, after my production, he was free to go back to his script and rework it the way he wished. But that was for the purpose of the 1971 production. You are welcome. Please, as you are joining, feel free to tell us where you are watching from, the state, the country, and you are watching from. And please go ahead to click on the share button. Go to the share button, click on the share button, and click on it and let us have it. All right? I want to appreciate all of you who have been coming from time to time. I really thank God for your life. All right, if you just join, just join. Give us the support of inviting at least 5 people. All right, at least 5 people. Give us the support of at least 5 people. Thanks for the love. Okay, thanks for the love. Thank you for the love. Okay, so in for the purpose of the 1971 production, we had to do so much doctoring, and we were pleased with what we produced. And I think Chief Wale Ogunyemi, when he finally published the play, in fact, kept all the things we agree on in our 1971 production in the published version by African University Press. So I would say that it was a very good experience. It was an effort at play doctoring it, and it was an effort at making sure that the work achieved success. And because we were working with a departmental performing company, we had cause to go backward and forward at the rehearsals, from the actor's position to the audience position, right there in the open courtyard at the Institute of African Studies, where we rehearsed and mounted the play, because I wanted to break away from the imprisonment of the proscenium stage of the art theater. But I must say that I had a lot of encouragement from the then acting head of department. He later became the substantive head, Dr. J. Adedeji, who was quite encouraging, and in fact, it threw the whole department weight behind the production, and it was one of the big opportunities of doing something large with the entire student body and staff, at least as many of the staff as were free. Welcome, please. As you are watching, please tell us where you are watching from, and let us know you are there. Thank you so much. I really appreciate. Invite at least 5 people who are media related, or who are lovers of media, who love drama, who love film, who love watching. Please invite them. Okay, so we're free in the role of performers and production staff. Kireji, of course, started off as a kind of amorphous work, and I think I had occasion to write about it in African Notes, published by University of Ibadan Institute of African Studies. Okay, there is another article which is not yet published as of that time, which we had at a seminar at the Institute of African Studies. I think I should go and get it when we finish this morning session. In that second article, I discuss specifically theatrical communication. I think one of the points I stressed, I also mentioned it in the African Note article, was that communication was vehicular rather than purely vernacular. Okay, communication is either vehicular than purely vernacular. Communication came during the process of rehearsing Kiriji. I did communicate ideas to my actors and vice versa. How does an actor communicate the truth of his character to an audience? I think in that 1970-1971 experience, the Department of Theatre Art was able to take a few strides forward in the area of production and theatre practice. Let me quickly explain something on that. I discovered that when you work with people that cooperate with you, thank you very much for joining, Pastor Irene. Thank you so much for joining. All right. So, you know, when you have people who are cooperative, I've said it over and over and over. When you work with people who are cooperative, the work becomes easier. When you work with people who understand you, with people who understand you rather, who understand you, understand the move, who understand what you do, who understand why you do it, and you are doing it well, I guarantee you yourself will be very happy. You'll be at the top of your career. You'll be at the top of your career. Everybody will like. Everybody will like. Wow. So you know, everybody will just be wondering what is the strategy, what is the skill you use? Because I told you that this is an area for me. It's into directing and producing. That's an area for me. I cannot overemphasize, because over the time I've seen that the work becomes frustrating when people who are working with you or you are working with are not cooperative. That really will discourage you. But sometimes, because I don't know. Let me just take the grace of God. Don't let me try to claim right on it. It is the grace of God. I won't deceive you. A whole lot of things people have asked me, why you don't get discouraged easily, Paul. What's the problem? You don't get discouraged. What's the style? What is the secret? Tell us the secret. Well, the secret simply is, once I understand why I'm doing what I'm doing, I don't even see discouragement. I don't even know where the discouragement is. All right, that's just it. But if I don't understand it, I set back and I go on. But sometimes, in my time of reflection, there was a time I remember my wife, even when we got married, my wife said something to me one day. Said, "I don't even know where you are discouraged. I just discovered that you're always being quiet." And I said, that's the time I have to reflect. Anytime I see something that is affecting me, I sit down to reflect. I don't get discouraged. I would just want to strategize. I was thinking of next year now. I was thinking of something. And this morning, I just got an insight to it. I told my wife, I said, I'm doing this January. All right? And so I'm going to tell us also, okay? I'm going to tell us also, first, the Sunday in January, the first Sunday in January, we're going to be having an in-house meeting. All right, not for everybody's in-house meeting. It's going to be in the afternoon. On that day. All right. So please, you will see my call, or I may call you ahead of time. So just get ready on that. All right. Just get ready on that. So this man really talk about, and another thing I always like is that when you work with free hand. When you work with free hand, anybody can work on the script, or somebody gave you a script. Not somebody said, the Holy Spirit said you should not remove, you should not do anything to it. You know, the Holy Spirit said don't touch, don't do anything. Don't touch, care. You know, and they say, curse will be the person who touched this thing. Bro, then, you know, sometimes people look at me and say, ah, you are too lay. Your hand is always, you always frown your face. You always frown. You're always frowning. I say, I'm not frowning. I'm just being concerned. I'm just being concentrating, to be sincere. I concentrate more on my vision. I concentrate more. I used to tell people, if I travel down to your place, to your state, and the highest I'm doing in your state is to playing around and greeting people around, then I've defeated the essence of leaving my home. You know, and people say, but there will be a time for you to play. I say, I play. I used to play, and I still play. But the way I play is different from the way you understand it, because I don't play when I have a job to do. You know, that in a way, I have to, even this Christmas we just left, I had to just abandon some things. I think my wife just said, at least help us to do some things that I have to go. And when I say help us to do some things, means let us to cook. Let me eat from you. So I had to enter kitchen, cook, do little the cooking I can do, you know, and it was very, very rewarding. In fact, even till this morning, I was so glad, because it's just a joy. It's just a thing of joy. And when you have a thing of joy like that, you know, forget you happy. But you know, when immediately I finish that thing, I go back to my work. You know, because I know I'm the father of the house. I must do my work as a husband, as a father, and as a mentor to other people. Then I must now pay attention. I must now pay attention seriously to the kind of work I do part-time. And that's why sometimes when I'm having, let me put it this way, when I'm having a location, or when I'm having a production, whether stage drama, I will always do the plotting in the presence of all the members for them to see. Once they see it, oh my, I can go and sleep. I can go and sleep. Once they see it and they understand that, oh, this is what Brother Paul wanted in this thing, I tell you, there will not be any issue with it again. Okay. Finally, let me invite. Sorry, I'm trying to invite people so that I can concentrate on you also. Okay. I'm happy I'm able to invite some people. Thank God, Facebook is developing every day. Facebook is developing every day. So, thank God for your life. Let's go. So, it was able to talk about the Department of Theatre Art, and was able to take off a few strides forward to the area of production and theatre practice. Okay? Now, let's go to another question. On account of the growing indigenous language drama, Ogumba was suggested that Nigerians will need to develop the heart of the English language if their drama must belong internationally. Could this have represented your exact view on theater language? Yes and no. That's what Professor Adelugba said. Yes and no. I think, in fact, that language should reflect reality. But to say that Nigerians should, because they want their theater language to reach across to other nations, across from here to there, do this or that, seems to me to be begging the question. A theater production, by its very definition, is an artistic work. Underline. Can somebody write artistic work for me? Just if you're watching me, just write artistic work. Artistic work. Just write artistic work. Artistic work. Artistic work. Artistic work. Can you write it for me? Let somebody just write down artistic work. So it's an artist. That's why. Let me chip this one in. I always say something. ART. You can't condemn ART. ACT. You can condemn it. You can say, oh, the act is. You can condemn the act. You can correct the act. But when it comes to art, it's an artistic thing. Just like the way it is. It's a creative thing. So if we want to speak to other nations, we should speak in the accent of our own truthful experiences. If developing the English language is part of the criteria of admission, and I imagine it is because we want our children to score credit and distinctions in English language paper, it has become so crucial to getting even a job in this country. If that is what it means, then I will say I go along with it. But if you want us to worry about the English language merely because we want to reach an international audience, thank you, ma'am. Then I will say that I would say that's not the aim of theater. The aim of theater is to reflect reality. But I think we are probably saying the same thing in different words. So the thought of Professor Ogumba and mine must be running along the same and similar lines. Okay, before I go to the next, that's another thing I want us to pay attention to. Don't let us be carried away. Don't let us ever be carried away because you want to speak. There is no way Paul-Esupofo they want to speak so much like European. There is no much of the language unless I've learned, or in fact, if I never lived or even stayed there for 1 month, or stayed there for 1 year, or stayed there for few years, there is no way I want to speak exactly like these people. It's not possible. My accent would defeat me. My background will defeat me. Do you get it now? So the drama is an artistic thing. Work of French. And that's why I love this creative work. If I want to do French, in fact, I don't know more than the greetings, most of those languages. Bonjour, bonjour. When they say bonjour, they say no, there's nothing like that. I say yes, I turn it to Yoruba so that I can remember. When I was on the taught of French, I turned everything Yoruba, then I could remember. So when we were doing an exam, in my GS, I got A in French. I was like, wow. Because all the formulation of words, I know it. Il-le-le-ro, il-le, elle, vous allez, vous allez. You know, I was just having all these things. Bonjour, bon matin. Comment t'appelles-tu? Va à ta place. I said, wow. You know, all those things. Écoutez, 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 écoutez. And I turned it to écoutez in Yoruba. You know, écoutez, écoutez. And all of us started laughing. But I got it. I said, écoutez. Écoutez means listen. Écoutez la combien. Écoutez la combien. Écoutez la combien. Écoutez, I said, écoutez la combien. Écoutez la combien means listen attentively. Listen attentively. Can you imagine how many years of this that I'm talking about? What I'm just talking about now is over 25 years. It's over 25 years. What I'm telling you now. And the thing is still fresh in my brain. The thing is still very fresh in what I'm doing. The thing is still very fresh in the approach. So when you are doing something, when you say you want to change the language, okay, well, I want to speak in German language. Good amen, good man, good, you know, good money, you good amen, you know, all those things. Look, if there is no way, because I have grown up in a particular community that is different from theirs. Okay, please invite as many people. Please invite people. Thank you for those invitations, and please share. I want you to share. Invite at least 5 to 20 people who are into drama, who are interested in drama, who loves drama. All right. Okay. So please let's do that. Let's do that for us. Let's do that for us. Okay. Let's go to another question, which is very, very fantastic question. It is very, very fantastic. If you are getting blessed, write something. Let me know you are getting blessed. Just write something. Just type, I'm getting, or tell me what you are gaining. Let me know what you are gaining. Let me know what you are gaining. Let me know what you are gaining. Tell me what you are gaining so far. We are doing a report, a kind of interview. Tell me what you are gaining. It's very important. Let me know what you are gaining. Let me know what you are gaining. All right? Are you gaining something? Okay. So, okay. Let's go to another question. You did emphasize the need for theatricians to look inward and involve homegrown theories, which are informed by serious scholarship and research and drawn from our cultural indices, distinct from an accidental or oriental approach. For the Nigerian theater practice, for example, just as drama and theater must be seen through the medium of the performing art, like movement, visual images, sound, and lighting, and that drama must be taught in theater language. What is this theater language you seem to be particular about? It is like going back to the same question all over again. Okay, before I read the answer, I will tell you this, because one of the things is that many of us who are copying the European thing, we ended up not really being real to ourselves. Because if you do research into all those things, you will help yourself, you will be happy, and at the same time, a lot of people will want to know what you know about your thing. In fact, that really helped me. Sometimes I had to sit my mom down. Sometimes I had to ask my mom question. Sometimes I had to ask my brother's question. So that, number one, I want to remind myself. I want to remind myself of what I know before when I was small. Then sometimes when it's not correct, I say, no, this is how it is. And that really helped me in a whole lot of things. That really helped me in a whole lot of things, you know. And number one. Then number two, to help me have a kind of nostalgical effect. Thinking back, imagine, okay, what has happened. Then sometimes when all of them are sharing what our father has done for us when we are small, we will start laughing. Everybody will be laughing. Everybody will be smiling, remembering those old days, the beating, and all that. So we need to just be creative. Just need to be real. If there's somebody wants to go into the cultural devices, how we wake up in the morning, wasadura ora kunle kagbadura adura ni okwa Christian lati bolarurin. You know, that's a funny thing. You know the song, you know the hymn. All right, come for the morning prayer. Let's pray. When you pray, you'll be able to walk with God. It's the beginning of walking with God when you pray to God. And that's the summary of this song. All right. Now, what am I saying? You'll be able to go more into this thing. Now, look at the answer that Professor gave. It will amaze you. Well, theater language is perhaps what they're asking in the vernacular. In the vernacular. In my article on Wale Oguyemi's Kiriji and Langbodo, I discussed communication in vernacular and vehicular work. Can somebody type that one for me? Can somebody write out vernacular and vehicular? That is vehicular, vernacular and vehicular. Okay, vernacular and vehicular. Waiting. Let somebody type it for me. Just type it and let me have it. Okay. Thank you. Type. Let me see you typing. Okay. Type, and we appreciate a lot of things. Okay. Now, I discussed communication vernacular. In other words, just as we speak English with a little Igbo, and you speak Hausa while a little English, what Rotimi has done in Hopes of the Living Dead, perhaps moving in direction of what I had in mind, it was not quite got there. When you look at Ola Rotimi's Hopes of the Living Dead, it is leading us towards positive direction for the future. And that's why I always enjoy things that when you are doing a film, you will discover that in that movie there are a lot of things, and sometimes you have to put some dialectical thing. When you put dialectical thing, there is nobody. When you are hearing somebody speaking your language, you'll be so much happy. You'll be so much glad. You'll be so much interested. Oh, somebody is speaking my language. Somebody's by the time you hear your own language, your own country language, or your own state language, you'll be very, very glad. You'll be very, very glad and say, "Wow, dude, this is real. This is real for me." You know, those are the things that you need to understand. You need to know. You need to be. All right. So, this is a very good thing that he's talking about. That is leading us towards a positive direction for the future. So, Professor Dapo Adelugba continues. He says, so language is a vehicle of conveying ideas to an audience. Language is a vehicle of conveying ideas to an audience. Those ideas must be true and must be real. And that's what we call realism comes in. Must be real, must be true and must be real. All right? Must be true and must be real. You know, must be true and must be real. Must be true and must be real. All right? So you discover that even if I'm speaking Yoruba, my Yoruba must be very, very sound. My Yoruba must be making sense. My Yoruba must not contradict itself. My Yoruba must be something. If I'm speaking Igbo, my accent must be there. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. All right, my accent must be there. My accent must be there and should be there. All right. So these are the fundamentals that many people have neglected when it comes to their languages, when it comes to the things they do, when it comes to a lot of things they do, and all that. Thank you very much, Amsterdam River State. Thank you, my brother. Thank you so much for joining. This is where we meet every day, 9:30 every day, Nigeria time. 9:30 every day, Nigeria time. 9:30 every day, Nigeria time. Okay, Monday through Friday. Saturday is 9:30 p.m. Our Saturday is interactive. Our Sunday is 9:30 p.m. too, respectively, where we do a whole lot of things, bringing the reality. Please invite as many drama ministers you know this morning. The next thing I'm reading is going to be of help to you. Invite and share and make a comment. Make a comment what you have been gaining so far. Okay, let's go. Let's go now. Let's go now. Okay, let's go. He said, Adelugba continues by saying, he says, so language is a vehicle that convey ideas to an audience. Those ideas must be true and must be real. Okay? They should not be carbon copies of other people's idea that the character is trying to put out to other characters and ultimately the audience. So when I talk of authenticity, I mean authenticity in characterization. Authenticity in characterization, because that's a whole lot. I won't deceive you. That's a whole lot in production. 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 Okay? That's a whole lot in production. You need to see that. That's a whole lot in production. Okay, let me see. Somebody want to speak with us? Somebody want to speak with us? Okay. So that's a whole lot. You need to understand that. You need to embrace that, and you need to work on that. Those are the things. Those are the fundamentals you need to look at critically. Those are the fundamentals you need to look at critically in making the reality. All right. So characterization, authenticity in context, authenticity in context, authenticity in portraiture. Portraiture, and authenticity on many other levels. And therefore, the art of play production, the art of reaching out to an audience is highly complex. Is highly complex art. That's what we call complex art. Then Professor Adelugba said, I should like to go back to that Squirrel Subaru. When we took that Squirrel Subaru around the nation in 1961, I believe that I played Subaru myself. I knew when I was reaching the audience. I knew when they were believing in the truth of my character. I knew when they were not. And some of the problems are in things like English, for example, that perhaps some of the audience may not understand some of the words, and maybe the words are rolling out too rapidly or whatever. And that's one of the things, because when you are acting yourself, if it's real, if you are touching people, you yourself, if you are just entertaining yourself, or you are mending your lines, you know that, oh, I'm missing my lines here. So that said, the English, you have to know when to adjust. The English, for example, now let's say, you say, for example, I knew when I was reaching out, and I knew when they were not. And some of the problems are the things like English, for example, that perhaps some of the audience did not really understand some of the words, and maybe the words were rolling out too rapidly. Some of us, even when we both are talking, we don't even add half of what they are saying. We are just doing like this. It's like when I was younger, we grew up in Catholic, and when we go to the Oyinbos, when they are talking, you say, hey, you want to change, everything is yes. You don't even understand it. You just say yes, and that looks funny, but that's the truth. That looks funny, but that's the truth. All right, that's the truth. You need to look at that, and you have to see that for yourself. All right. So let's go again to this thing. Said, and I want to read it gently. That perhaps some of the audience did not really understand some of the words, and maybe the word were rolling out too rapidly or whatever. And if that is the case, you have to make an adjustment. The actor must make sure that he is communicating with his audience. Whatever he had to do, even if it means breaking out of English and speaking Yoruba or speaking Ijesha or something, he has to do something. He has how do I put it? He has got to reach his audience. The artwork cannot stand in isolation from the audience. The artwork for the fine artist stands in isolation, and the artwork for the fine artist stands in isolation, and the builder, the perceiver, the man who wants to see it takes from it what he can. But you cannot do what the performing art. You cannot do that with the performing art. The performing art lives from moment to moment. The moment you lose your audience, there is no more performing art, and that is why the performing art is defined in its own terms. There is the need for constant awakeness. There is a need for constant awakeness, constant aliveness. If anything interferes with that constant awakeness, with what constant aliveness, that thing has to be corrected, and that is drama for you. That's why stage drama, if you make a mistake, the whole world will know. I notice anytime we go to a particular church, let me mention the church, Baptist church. If you go to Baptist church, especially the Elite Baptist church, if you are speaking English, if you don't pronounce it very well, you are in soup. If you mistakenly or you make a grammatical error or statement that is not correct, you will hear the sound in the church. You say, oh. I went to a place again in a university, and they invited some people from College of Education, and they have their own first class. They have the first class in university. They have distinction in their own place. And the guy came up and said, first class distinction. The first time I didn't even pay attention, but when I hear the sound of people, first class distinction. So from that I discovered the person, and if I was the one, I was a guest minister. I couldn't go to the back of the stage and say, please, bro, sister, don't say. And the sister was making this mistake almost all the stage, first class distinction. And we were down. Instead of getting the message, people are now being distracted with that mistake, and they started re-echoing back to them. First class, immediately the star comes out, hey, first class distinction. First class distinction. You just have to buttress what Professor Adelugba is saying. So you have to understand that very, 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 very key. We are talking about the Dapo Adelugba on theatrical practice in Nigeria. Theatrical practice in Nigeria has been interviewed by Professor ADEMOLA da Silva. Professor ADEMOLA da Silva. So we are talking about acting, we're talking about directing of a thing, and by the grace of God, in the next, I will take one more or two questions this morning again before we stop. Okay, let's go. Okay, so that with that one, it's now said there is need for constant things, and so that it must be corrected. Any mistake must be corrected, and that is where dramatic art, or shall we say the theater art, is very complex. I would prefer dramatic art. All right, Lil Stephenson, you are welcome. Thank you for joining. So now the question came up. Your explanation notwithstanding, one is tempted to see that the theatrical language beyond just the verbal. Oh yes, that is where the body movement. Yes, that is where body movements. Okay, and the professor said the choreographic, the musical, the acrobatic. Then the question posed that the media of communication is in a strict theater sense. Even at times, the smell in the theater communication, sometimes the smells, the sounds. I mean, in Sofola's wedlock of the gods, she insists on the powder being spread out to reach the audience. As the fragments spread, it must reach the audience. Certainly, it helps the aims of the production. People feel belong because it's a stage. That's the beauty of the stage. Right now, if I do anything, he cannot reach you because it's screen. All right, he cannot reach you. Even if I do like this, even if I do like this, he cannot do anything to you. All right, so he can't do anything to you. Do you get it now? Even as I walk down, you cannot touch it. Do you get it now? So he now said he insisted on that because that's the aim of the production. Another question says, it is observed that not much of drama of indigenous languages or languages has been produced in the department production series lately. What is the response? What is responsible for this? And the answer is a lack of planning. And let me quickly, before I go on, that one has happened to me several times. When we don't plan, sometimes we don't even know. And for me, it's a spiritual thing. I have to know, God, what is the message we are going to give out? But if he has given us an open check for maybe in January, say, okay, we are going to be going with strange fire. Anywhere we are invited to is strange fire. And that one is easier for me because I know it's strange fire. It got to time, it's as if, oh, is there no message again in Send Me? It's strange fire, strange, because I know, but because we have to plan. And if it's a new message, we have to plan. So lack of planning, I agree with him. Lack of planning, I think actually you put it very kindly. I don't think any planning in that direction has really been done. I don't think any play has really been done in Yoruba apart from Orekelewa by Olanipekun, and that was a long time ago. Another question: what is the policy of the University of Ibadan Department of Theatre Art on plays in indigenous languages? Let me tell you something. Indigenous language is one of the best things. Indigenous languages is one of the things that can happen to, especially if I'm in Yoruba land. And that's exactly what we did when we went to Kano. When I got to Kano, we're doing English and all that. But I said, we cannot come here and still do English and shoot English for you. I said, if I'm coming to Igbo land, I'm not going to Igbo land. I don't want to go to that place and begin to only speak the English. Let us go to Pidgin. Let's go to pure Pidgin. Let's go to pure your language, your dialect. I know everybody is connected with Pidgin. Those are the things you have to look at and look at it critically. And he said, what happened to me? He said, I don't think the department has done any play in Yoruba. Yes. You understand? It seems they have done improvisation. That's the answer now. He said, but there has been nothing really like a big scripted play of the dimensions. For example, for instance, of Rererun. Some of us have watched Rererun before, and it was put in Super Story. Super Story was later acted as a famous Rererun in the Super Story before. All we did was Bode Osoyin's adaptation of the play, which he called The Scattered Bridge. The Scattered Bridge. That's Rererun. Okay? Me, Rererun. Alright? Alright? So The Scattered Bridge. That was written and performed in English. But I think you are right that more plays in indigenous languages should be done. Indeed, as part of our own ideological position about the growth of theater. So it comes in, and then this idea of gown and town, cutting, yes, and the relevance of theater, particularly to the immediate community. Professor say, I must say, we have done improvisation using indigenous language, but we need to do full-length plays, full-length production of serious drama. Look at this Abejoye. Do you know why Abejoye was able to really eat it like that? If you were to be a Yoruba title, if you were to be English title, maybe some people have just passed it back and all that. But because it's indigenous language, the title is in indigenous language, and they now bracket the English and say Kingmaker. That really, because people that don't know Abejoye, people that cannot speak the language, the Abejoye. It goes a long way and brings about a lot of people connection. We are connected. Ordinarily seeing that man with a beat, with a sweep and everything, we already being carried away. We already being connected. So let me go back to the final thing this morning for here. And he said, I must say that we have done improvisation using indigenous language, but we need the full-length play, full-length production of serious drama, And they said, I watched Femi Osofison's Yekpa, so Larin Bo, Yekpa, so Larin Bo. That is right. He said, I've watched it, and the professor said that is right. That was the only other one part from Olanipekun Eson's Orekelewa. The professor, the Silva said it was so encouraging. Professor Adelugba said, well, we should do more of such works. Exactly, I think so. we should do more of them. We should do more of them. I don't think the dramatist himself is aware of the degree of beauty and artistic auricular exudes. So O.DASYLVA said, yes, again, you have preempted my next question, because I was going to ask what way, in what way then, as a department like yours, saddled with the promotion and propagation of culture, identify with and fulfill this aspect of social needs. Professor reply, Adelugba, but we do identify, even though we ourselves have not done enough production. We have worked out the modality, but you are right that we ourselves should be more active in that area. I try to support that position. We should be more active. And the question, wait, is like a second to the last question. Yes, and that leads us to this question, to your Kiriji production, of course. These are the cases of cast with enormous numbers. Go on. And it's almost obvious that you have a kind of liking for play with a large cast. Not really. You have a way of managing them so well. Well then, it's like a hope of living dead by Olarotimi, as directed by the playwright himself. One is fascinated by the control, the management of the crowd, etc. Okay? Now, let me finish the answer the man gave. Please keep on writing. I will read your comments. All right? I like a work that challenges me that way. There is no doubt that large cast is cast. All right? Let me quickly say that most times people make mistake. Even people that have, unless an authority, unless on a special occasion, cast is cast. C-A-S-T is there. But sometimes people make that something. Then I challenge you to work with. But I'm also glad to return to smaller cast. So I work in both areas. I've been faced with a small cast so that I can work intensively with 3, 4, or at most 6 people. For instance, when in 1978 I had the opportunity of doing some Brickett's End Game, which has 4 characters: Ham, Clove, Nag, and Nail. Working with Ham, H-A-H-A-M-M, Clove, C-L-O-V, Nag, N-A-G-G, and Nell, N-E-L-L. Okay, working with those 4 persons in the direct class was a quite big challenge. But I agree with you that in works like Kiriji, Langbodo, and so on, Langbodo because there is no mark there. Okay, I have perhaps shown a particular love for the large cast drama. Yes, I have, but I don't forget that when I had to do Langbodo, right? Langbodo in 1984 for the Commonwealth Art Festival, for the Commonwealth Institute in London. We had to peg down the cast to less than 30. So what we did in 1977 with about 300 or 250 persons for financial and logistic reasons, we had to do with 28, which meant that each person carried more than one role. But then I found that indeed we were able to manage it, because once a costume change, it affected, and a makeup change is affected, the audience automatically accept the same person in a new role. You say, oh yes, it is all part of theatrical psychology. I granted that you exploited this to its bearable limit. That's right. That's where I'm going to stop this morning. That's right. So I will continue tomorrow. That's right. We're able to cover something very, very beautiful this morning, because also I was adding my own thing with it. Let me quickly appreciate those who joined and see what they have done. Thank you for Pastor Irene Meji, Amsterdam, River State. Thank you. Leod Stephenson. Thank you. Bolari Olakunle. Merry Christmas to you. I've been late on this particular series, but I would still like to ask the question. Okay, okay, this is beautiful. Are you there to get it? Are you there right now? Say, can real theater be taken to church? Very, very good question. Real theater can be taken to church. It depends. I will tell you yes and no. Yes, in the sense that if you are being invited, no other person is coming, and you are given a free hand to church, to any church you are ministering. That's what people have taken the theater round, the whole church. They will go there, they will construct whatever they have to construct, they will do their theatrical performance. Most of the churches don't even have, they have proscenium stage yet, but it's not theatrical enough. Many of them, the pastors are sitting on the altar. Sometimes pastor cannot leave the altar for you, you understand? Pastor don't even want to leave the altar for you. So sometimes you are going to be ministering beside them, you know, and sometimes you have to manage. Sometimes some people say, don't take our pew. In fact, I think it's becoming a institutional error. I've been to different places, and it's becoming a institutional error that some people, when you want to remove their pew, they say no. In fact, some people say no. You can actually take a real theater to the church. So it all depends on the kind of church that you go. And let me be sincere with you. If you know that's what God is giving you, you go with your additional tools, additional GS, additional GS. So when we have done something like that before, and I really love it, because our program. So if your church is already raised enough, some churches are like theater already. So you don't have a problem. The pastor will also climb. Nobody is sitting on the altar. So you can now use a whole lot of things. So it's very, very correct. You can take it down. When I say no in the sense that when the altar is very small and they are giving you 10 minutes, even if you get there ahead of time, they won't leave their service for you to start constructing. But if you have a mobile theater, you can quickly set up on their stage. Fine, why not? All this thing has to be where you have to be creative. You just have to be open. You have to open yourself to a lot of creativity, and you will get a very good thing. Enoch, thank you very much this morning. Hope I've been able to answer that question. If you're not satisfied, please tell me, then I will answer it again. Let me know if you're satisfied with it. If you're not, please let me know. Then I can repeat some things. So we have been talking about Dapo, Adelugba, on theater practice in Nigeria. This is a particular person who was talking so much, who was so vast. Unfortunately, the man is dead. Whatever you have to do and give to your word, do it fast. And by the grace of God, I've said it, by the grace of God, another person I also conduct a live interview with is Professor O.DASYLVA, because he has done a good work in getting this out. All right. But is my question satisfactory? Let me know whether the question is satisfactory. All right. Whether the question is satisfactory. So you have to look at it. You can take that. It depends on the church you are ministering. So that's why you have to pay yourself. But if you want to say, okay, we only do the theater, it's the theater we can do. We cannot go to all those churches. They now have to put plastics out. You know, several times I've gone to some churches. In fact, till now when we have administration, just say, can you get a cushion chair for us? By the time you do that, that's so-called theater psychology. The theater psychology I've used in people is that by the time they begin to see that, they begin to think that this is actually home. But by the time you see the white plastic or white plastic chairs and you're bringing it, just this is church, okay? This is church. They see there's nothing really big. There is no big deal about it. There is no big deal about it. And there are a lot of big deals. There are serious lot of big deals about it. All right? Sister NDBC, thank you for joining. God bless you. I believe I've been able to satisfactorily answer your question. All right? So can real theater be taken to church? Yes. All right? And can it not be taken? I also say no. All right? Don't be afraid of anything. Just believe that it's going to take a lot of work, a sort of planning, serious planning, then you get it done. Thank you very much for joining this morning. Meet me on the part 3, the final one I want to do today. I started it on Christmas Day. Meet me in that place right now. The affectionate, all right? Affectionate, be kindly affectionate. That's what we're going to be talking about and all that. Thank you very much this morning. Please, everybody come every morning, Monday through Friday. When you make a comment like this, it attracts a lot of people, and they know. When you come, you share, invite drama people. Download this, and also you can download it and use it as part of your references, as part of the things, all right? You can use it, you can play it in your church and all that. But we are doing a very review on a particular book, this particular book. We're doing not a review, we're doing an interview, reading out interview and all that. So please, if you have any question more, you can contact me on 080 6981 7814. 69817814 +23 if you're outside Nigeria, and you can send an email to us, thesedmi@gmail.com, THESEDMI and you want to speak with me on Skype, you can also do the same thing by the grace of God. If you want to go on our Instagram, the same, they said me. If you go to our YouTube, the same, they said me. Paul-Esupofo, search it out, you will see a lot of things. Monday through Friday is 9:30 a.m. Nigeria time. Saturday and Sunday is 9:30 p.m. Nigeria time, respectively. And Saturday is interactive, where we have some question and answer within ourselves. You can also call to the program, and we can also have a lot of questions being trashed out. Thank you very much. Till tomorrow, I remain Paul. Please, whatever God has given to you, don't procrastinate. Go and do it now. Tomorrow will be too late. Have a wonderful day. Pastor Tony Chiku, God bless you. Bye. You can call me.